Hello, everyone, and welcome
Or welcome back
to the Wizarding World Legacy Podcast.
where we discuss the magic of the Wizarding World's past, present, and future.
We're your hosts, Eric,
And Jasmine.
and today we're going to be talking about some small but very exciting updates within the Wizarding World.
Just a sprinkling of magic as of late.
Yes, but there's a lot of different little things that I think collectively add up into a lot of exciting development.
It's like they've presented us with a cupcake of information. Not a full cake. Cupcake.
I like to view it as maybe a moderate-sized cornucopia.
Okay, a moderate-sized cornucopia, a few treacle tarts.
In any case, this is going to include things like perspective set photos,
Props.
props, cast photos, and updates on other things within the general Wizarding World, not just the TV show.
Some may be fact, some may be fiction.
There's been a lot of excitement and a bit of anxiety, I don't think inappropriately placed, surrounding some ongoing developments within the Wizarding World.
Absolutely. I definitely think that is the case. But for today, we're going to go ahead and dive right into that nonfiction section to get us started, because
Historical
numbers
nonfiction.
mean nonfiction. Yes, they do. Yes, it's true. Numbers mean nonfiction. Eric, take it away.
That was so weird. What a weird transition.
I think you might have to
Cancelled. That's the cancel button right there. Not subscribe,
I
cancel.
pressed it.
Wow. We're going to start with the Hogwarts Express.
I am very excited and I am distraught because of a teeny tiny minuscule detail that matters to almost no one.
I think it's going to matter to more people than you think.
Really?
I do.
I hope it is. Basically, the Hogwarts Express is up and running. We have video of it.
Literally up and running.
Literally running. We have video of it chugging along, potentially choo-chooing along in its full antiquated steam engine glory. For those who are train enthusiasts or ferroequinologists alike, this is a pretty exciting update.
Funny enough, there's actually a lot of people who are just into trains that their only involvement in the Harry Potter world is the Hogwarts Express. And there's the Lionel train set that you can get.
Yep.
I think it's meant to be like a Christmas time kind of thing. It's enough
Like
track.
around the tree?
Yeah, it's enough
Got
track to
you.
go around the tree. The standard kit is an oval or oblong, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And you can buy additional track extensions. And I've actually seen people, I'll try to find some footage and put it up here, but I've actually seen people set up tracks that go through entire buildings or entire office spaces and stuff, and they'll cut holes in the wall and it's going through tunnels. It's crazy.
I love that.
Yeah, so trains, like toy trains or train replicas, are actually there's a whole huge community for that stuff. There are people who love when they can find good recreations of set trains, like trains that are found on different movies, whether it's the train from Back to the Future.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because the second one has that. I think it's the second one or the third. And then the Harry Potter's Hogwarts Express obviously is pretty iconic to the franchise.
It very much is.
What was the thing that really bugged you about this one?
Oh, yeah.
Because I have a separate thing that bugs me.
The train number has changed.
At least in the video that we see.
Yes, in the video that we see, at least in two different places on the train, the number is different. In the films and in also the Lego sets, the number on the train is 5,972. Unfortunately, and I don't know why, I have a Hogwarts Express Lego train in my living room. So I see this number all the time and I'm particularly attached to it. It's also a trivia question that Eric and I have come across. And now, for some weird reason, they have changed the number to 600 or 6,000. I don't know why numbers are so hard for me today.
6989.
6989.
I will say, I don't think that is the final thing, because that does not say Hogwarts Express. It says something else Express on the front of it. So I don't think that's the final thing, and there's a chance that the numbers could be changed. So this might be...
That number is also on the side of it. This side of it.
Yes, so that might be the original engine number, and that might end up getting changed. So even though it's painted to look like the Hogwarts Express and stuff, the main paint job and stuff is done, while they're putting it on tracks for testing and stuff like that, they may want to make it not look exactly like it's going to look in the films yet, so that they don't spoil its appearance, its final appearance. Because the other thing that bothers me is if you look at the footage that we're going to put up here, the train cars don't match in color to the actual caboose.
That the caboose is
the
the
engine?
back.
The engine car. It doesn't match the the
the
front engine car.
The first one.
I'm not a train enthusiast or
Equinologist.
yeah. The trains don't seem to be the same tone. They're like
not
a
at all.
darker, like more muted reddish maroonish color, whereas the main engine seems to be like a vibrant, almost crimson red. So I don't think this is the final look, but I have seen some photos of it that looked more finished than that, which is interesting.
Do we get... I don't think in the books we get a description of anything more than the steam engine first car.
Well, we get descriptions of the interiors, which
Right.
the interiors were like vastly different than what we saw in the movies. There is more detail given in the books because he goes up into that car to spy on.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree.
In any case, but yeah, you can see on the separate video, it says Whitewick Hall on the side. It doesn't have the Hogwarts Express on the side, and on the front of it, and this is when it was still being trucked in, it still had the 6869 number.
So do you
didn't
think-
have the something express on the front.
Right.
So I think they're probably for testing purposes disguising it a little bit to say, oh, this could be any train. But we know.
I think that the 6869 is the number that, originally came with the choo-choo, but I'm just not thrilled. It's gorgeous. I am excited that we have, this very traditional looking train instead of the really boring ones that we have nowadays.
I want the tow-along cars to match a little bit better, like they do on all the Lego sets and the prop replicas and all that kind of stuff.
right.
I want them to match really well. But I think that's something that's going to draw some people who may not specifically be Harry Potter fans in. It's another, retailable item.
I can't even begin to imagine the amount of retailable items that we're going to get from the series. And I do think it's interesting because I was listening to one of the people talk, and they had mentioned again that the budget is $1.2 billion. Every episode is probably going to be around $75 million. And we don't know if the 1.2 includes the marketing budget. So likely the whole series in total will cost over 1.2 billion.
I think for now, the understanding is that doesn't actually include the marketing budget because you never know where marketing is going to be at the time when you start marketing. There could be a massive shift in how they market it. With everything going on with AI and everything else, that could be totally different.
That's a fair point. So if we're talking about a $1.2 billion budget, I don't know if we've talked about this before, but how do you recoup that on a streaming platform?
That's a good point. So there's the aspect of, you're going to recoup from people who are going to sign up. And yes, they may just sign up for the time where the series is on TV. So like they'll sign up, they'll pay their monthly membership while they're watching it on TV, and then provided it comes out like every week or whatever, and then they'll cancel it and then they might come back. You have other people who are just going to sign up and they are going to just keep it going for a while. But part of that goes through advertisements because HBO is part of Comcast Company, I believe, and Warner Brothers is part of Comcast Company, and it's all subsidiaries that have all these other advertising platforms that'll capitalize on this streaming platform. And then I'm assuming once the seasons are out, they're also going to be able to sell them like in box sets. And I know that's not as common of a thing anymore because you want people to come back to your platform to stream things.
Right.
But you likely will see that for such an iconic franchise. You'll see it sold in a box set.
That'll be in such an expensive box.
It will. You'll probably see the seasons available for purchase if you want to purchase them and be able to rewatch them anytime on Apple TV and Amazon TV, like all that stuff. So there are different ways. And again, set it as like a throwaway comment with the train being a collectible item. Collectible items are a way that these franchises make money back. Think of another announcement we were going to get into. We'll just jump right into it.
Absolutely.
The Noble Collection just recently released the
Prop replica
of the cursed necklace that
almost
kills
Katie
Katie
Bell.
That just came out, and we are decades out from the release of that book, and I think almost decades out from the actual release of that movie at this point. So we are way out from that being something that we've seen on screen.
Right.
But people still want these things this far out. And it's not cheap. I mean, it's silver.
$159.
Yeah. So through the Noble Collection, it's $159. It's even more if you buy it in pounds from the Noble Collection UK.
Right.
And it's silver plated. It's not even like silver. It's just silver plated.
Yeah.
And then it's got stones in it, but they're not like precious stones,
Yeah,
really.
It's supposed to be an opal necklace. I can't imagine there's an
It's not real opal
in it.
Yeah. And it's a cool display piece. I will say it's one that would be challenging to display in most people's.
Right, because it needs to be slightly slanted. You can't.
It's gonna be slanted. You're gonna want some light on it, like a
Right.
some sort of spotlight to like catch the the different shimmers in the stone or in the metal or whatever.
And not to be dramatic, but I'm not wearing that on like a day-to-day basis.
No, you might wear it as part of a cosplay, although it wouldn't make sense because it should kill you.
Right.
But...
If you're playing a dead person, that's a great necklace
Sure.
to wear. Other than that,
not
cut it
really.
out.
So it's a cool display piece. I would love to get it if I could just like throw it $160.
Right,
But there's other
exactly.
props. Like I want the Sword of Gryffindor. I don't have that one yet. And there's some other ones that I'd like to get. Again, this far out, people are collecting. I'll even show some of the stuff that I've collected over the years on screen. And it adds up, and it adds up as a form of profit for the franchise.
Absolutely, it does. I will say, it did sort of just occur to me that part of the reason that the series are released, like Outlander is released so far apart, is probably because the people will subscribe and then they'll forget that they subscribed and then they stay subscribed.
And then they're like, oh, well, it's going to be coming back on soon anyway, so I'm not going to bother canceling and re-enabling my subscription.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's a personal type of manipulation that I just don't like. I get it.
The whole subscription thing I hate.
Right,
I'd
I
rather
hate
just
it.
like pay for the season when it comes out. If it does come out on a box set, I probably will buy it so that I just own it and can watch it whenever I want.
Right. And there'll probably be the digital version.
Yeah.
That accompanies it. I think that makes a whole lot of sense. So it does seem as though they might be able to recoup the $1.2 billion that'll be spent on this show over the course of like 10 years.
And that's their budget, right? But the fact of the matter is, so much of that is going to, not so much, but a surprising amount of that is going to be tax excludable when you think of the fact that like part of that budget is literally building like a town and a school where they're going to feed cast members, which that goes into their expenses that are then basically tax deductible at the end of the year. Education, they're providing education, providing schooling for these kids.
Right.
Tax deductible.
I also saw that in one of their filming locations, they had to shut down like a street. And so when they shut down that street, they were giving money to the town itself for use of the area. But then they also paid the businesses because people couldn't get to those businesses.
Yeah.
So I think that's like, when we think about marketing, there's so many different forms of marketing.
Yeah.
And so I know marketing isn't really included in this budget, but it's like those small little things.
Those little gestures of good faith. Though that's like indirect kind of guerrilla marketing where they're like, hey, we're going to be filming this. Your town's going to be featured here. And because your business is going to have to be closed for the day, we're going to give you a little bit of cash. And so, you know,
you get the day off.
You get the day off, you get a bit of cash, and we get a filming location that people will recognize, and you might get more business as a result.
Exactly.
So it's kind of a win-win-win in those situations.
I would totally travel there being like, this was in the Harry Potter movies or show. Also, another kind of marketing that most series can't get, the royal family.
Yes, yeah. So another thing that's been in the news is that the royal family, and I think the big thing that's been in the royal family was it Kate Middleton is the one who...
Princess Middleton.
Sorry, we're not from London or the UK, so I'm not ignorant. I don't prescribe to the monarchy because we haven't got one here.
I love the monarchy.
But a lot of people do. The monarchy is still a big deal. Even if you're somebody who's like, I'm not really for the monarchy, people still pay attention to the monarchy.
Yeah.
Like globally.
Absolutely.
Princess Kate Middleton and her children were seen on the Harry Potter TV set visiting, I believe, predominantly Hogsmeade Station.
Yep.
They did get to see the train. I think they even got to go like
ride
on the train. I don't know if they got to ride on it, but they got to go on it. Well, I don't know if it was running yet when they visited. They might have. I don't know. I know they got to at least go on it.
Yeah.
And they got to meet cast members and take photos and...
see them filming.
So Hogsmeade Station is actually located in Windsor Great Park in Great Britain. And that's where they had visited.
Allowing some pretty free and pretty epic marketing.
Anything that the royal family does gets attention. And so that just kind of builds a little bit more hype around the franchise. And that's a good thing. Speaking of parks, they also had shown... We're a little late to the game on this one. And quite frankly, the Kate Middleton one. But... Wardown Park.
Princess Middleton.
Not my princess.
Shut up and continue.
Wardown Park has been the location rumored to be where they're going to film sort of the Black Lake scenes, or at least the boats commuting across the Black Lake to Hogwarts.
And I know they won't be filming it this year, but if this is the location, then that's the location where the giant squid might help first year during Harry's second year.
Who gets tossed out in the stormy seas.
I love
I do wonder if that's where they'll do that scene, though. I don't know how deep the water is here.
How deep do you need?
Well, if a kid's going to get thrown out of a boat, you don't want him to hit his head on a concrete bottom if it's just like 2 feet deep, waist deep.
That's a fair point, actually.
And for the sake of making it look stormy and being controlled, I'm sure that they're probably not going to want a pond full of geese and swan and duck filth. They'll probably use a pool like they did in the films.
And Eric makes a point.
I do make a few of those every now and then. But I do think it'll be a great location based on the surrounding park for that, especially if they film it at night. They're definitely going to have to do some digital enhancement to the park in order for it to not look too muggle, because it looks pretty muggle.
Absolutely. One thing I noticed with that picture, though, is that the actual surface of the lake is glassy smooth.
Yeah,
which I
remarkably
think
smooth.
is scarily smooth.
And this is taken with like a camera phone, so if you take this with like a real camera and you're like pushing, some pretty hard crane lights, which they do have in here, onto the water so that you're going to get reflections from the surrounding trees and stuff like that, you're really going to enhance that effect because you're getting reflections where you can track the surface details. You can then digitally enhance that as well if you need to see like the castle shimmering in the lake and stuff like that.
Yeah. So
kind of blend the real and the CGI together more believably. It looks like a good park. We're not seeing the angle I think that's going to matter in this photo,
right? But
still it looks pretty cool.
And no one's really seen like a cast there, so we don't have anything too specific.
Yeah, or too concrete, but a lot of people said, well, this is like the film crew that's involved in the Harry Potter filming. These are like wooden bows that don't seem to have any sort of motors or anything pulling them. Like it looks the part.
Right, we're theorizing. All of this is hypothetical,
yes.
But we're gonna believe it because why not?
Because I want to.
Because I want to.
I need hope. So backtracking sort of to Hogsmeade Station in Windsor Great Park, we kind of see these photos that show the back of the sets.
Yeah.
We're not seeing the front. So I think the front is camera ready and we're just not seeing the whole thing. I'm guessing that. Like this looks like the back here.
This looks more like tracks. Like I think they'd have the tracks on that side with the trees in the background.
Yeah, so like the trees are on the opposite side.
Yeah.
It would be looking towards, and that kind of looks like the bridge that would go over. Like.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think what they're doing is like this way, it's camera ready.
Yeah.
And then the backdrop is the camera. So if they pan around, all you're going to see is this like dense forest, which makes sense because there's like woodland around it. And then you've got like Hogsmeade Village and you've got like the Black Forest off to one side and Hogwarts grounds and stuff. And so it makes sense. The interesting thing, given these different locations that we're seeing, is going to be how do they connect them all on screen? Obviously, you're going to do like cut from one to the other. You don't have to literally do a one take where you're like getting off the train, follow the kids down the path, follow the kids onto the boat, follow the kids up to... It's not going to be a one take like that. No. But how are they going to stitch them all together and make everything look cohesive? Because even if you're looking at just some of the... trees and stuff here, they do look quite a bit different than what we see in the park. Again, we're only seeing one angle of the park, so that might not matter.
Yeah, the park I'm not too worried about just because I don't think we're seeing the right angle. And I imagine we'll be CGIing most of the background out.
Well, for that maybe. I don't know that they'll have to hear, obviously. But,
No.
But for that maybe, you're right.
Because we need the castle.
Yeah, when you look up.
Right.
It'll be interesting to see how they connect it all together, but I hope that we get more of like a cohesive and true to the book's description, because J.K. Rowling actually made, and we'll try to throw some of these up too, she actually had made some like basically overlay maps of the Hogwarts grounds and the surrounding Hogsmeade Village and all that kind of stuff. So it'd be cool if they draw from that. They could also draw from
Hogwarts Legacy.
Absolutely.
We've got a very in-depth map.
We have a hugely in-depth map, and they did try to be very canon accurate. When they were designing like Hogsmeade and its location geographically to the Black Lake, to Hogwarts, and to the rest of like the Highlands and stuff of Scotland that it would be located in. They tried to make it all make sense based off of some of J.K. Rowling's original drawings. Even the location of the Quidditch pitch was very intentionally chosen to be representative of what she had illustrated. That's another thing. Like, we're going to have to probably see parts of like the pitch or parts of the village if they're going to show more on screen with that transition into the Black Lake and all that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they kind of have to walk almost through a bit of the village to get to there.
Yes, they do.
So that's Hogsmeade. I'm pretty excited for that. It's even though this is just kind of like a false, facade set, it's exciting to see just like, it's all a facade. It's not. It's real. I just haven't got my letter yet.
He's coming.
It's exciting to see just how much is underway and like they've already filmed here. Like she was there for a day of filming. It's very, very
She
exciting.
being Princess Middleton.
People can follow. Okay.
No one can follow you.
That's true. I'm quite tangential.
It's fine.
Moving on from there, we've had a couple other locations that have been discussed.
Yeah.
And even some filming dates have been announced.
They casually, which I didn't really know they did, but
Yeah.
someone casually mentions the exact location and the dates on which the cast and crew will be on said location.
And a couple different locations as well. So today, the day of filming is, and I know that's not the day this is coming out,
It won't.
is October 7th. And between October 9th and October 16th, they're going to be filming in Lustley in Devon County. This location, where do you speculate that this location is?
My theory is that it's Godric's Hollow.
That's my theory as well. And it's largely because it's got this very Cotswoldsy kind of look to it.
Good word choice. Loving that.
Thank you. And I don't know if Lustley is in the Cotswolds. I don't think so. But it's really got that kind of old English look to it with the stone and
The
like stucco
thatched
buildings,
roofs.
thatched roofs, the hedges. It's got the perfect look for that. And the perfect look for an old wizarding town
Yes.
like Godric's Hollow. Although I'm going to have to recant some of that. Godric's
Why?
Hollow is not actually an all-wizarding town. Only Hogsmeade is the only all-wizarding town.
Right, but Godric's Hollow is a mainly wizarding town.
Yeah, it's predominantly
Predominantly.
populated by wizards. The other big location that we have,
We've got a few other ones. There's the castle.
there is. The other, I think, really notable only because we have a strong suspicion of what's going to be filmed here, is, I'm not going to say this, Cadgwith, England or UK. My understanding is it's kind of like an island basically, and this is like a smaller like fishing village, or was at one point a smaller fishing village. And we have a couple really cool photos of the village. One being this outcropping where you can see what looks to be some, I think, crew members setting some stuff up, or they're kind of like clustered together having a conversation. Some people have speculated that this is just like a place where they're going to be setting up like camera equipment, maybe like a crane or something like that to get some cool sweeping shots. I think this is probably where the hut on the rock is going to physically be.
In my theory, it's too grassy to be where the hut might actually be, although we could cut out the grass or...
Well, I think it depends on the angle you shoot from, because there's a lot of like stone and like steep cliff kind of edges. And if you remember how it's described in the book, and if you remember like the little illustration for that one,
They have to like climb up.
basically. And I think if you shoot from the right angle, and depending on what they do in terms of like maybe they dress it with some sort of like ladder or rope kind of thing that they have to get up.
Yeah, because without a ladder or rope, I promise you I'm not making it up this.
And even with. But I think if you shoot it from the right angle, this could make sense for the actual location of the hut on the rock. That is what's speculated to be shot in this overall location.
I definitely think in the overall location, we will be experiencing that very, very stormy night on which Vernon risks his family's life.
The other interesting photo that we get is this beautiful, like, kind of high up. I'm assuming this is probably shot with a drone, unless there's another peak that we can't see from this angle or from the other angle. Kind of top-down shot showing essentially like a little alcove or bay kind of thing that this fishing boat's coming through. And this is like crystal clear water, which suggests to me it's probably freezing cold.
Gorgeous, though.
But you've got this fishing boat that's pulled in here. There's a bunch of little boats on the shoreline, and there's a closer up photo that we'll share too. I think because there's been
a lot of different photos of this area shown, and a lot of different boats within this area have been shown.
And a lot of different takes on the boats.
Exactly. So some of the boats people are speculating will be the boats that Harry and Hagrid come back on, and that the Dursley family plus Harry originally go out on.
When people have talked about it, some of them have talked about the bigger boats.
Yeah, there's this picture of these 3 big boats that have like little roofs and stuff.
And they're fishing boats.
Yeah, they're full-fledged fishing boats. I don't see that as being the boat that they go out on.
Those boats are probably, if they're being used at all, are probably the boats that are being used for like cast and crew, just to kind of like haul gear.
Yeah, I mean,
to and from.
They have I think they've put out a call to invite local fishermen to be either extras or
probably to help with cast and crew and stuff like that. I'm sure they'll like literally just be paid to like
right.
ferry them back and forth
Just compensate them.
in whatever manner they need to. Because also locals are going to know the traffic patterns. Like if that's a fishing area, they're going to know the traffic patterns for that. They're going to know
The waters.
the tides and stuff like that. And so they'll be able to like help from an element of safety as well.
Okay. Well, we could totally film here and put a hut there.
That's too small for a hut.
Oh, I guess that's fair.
Yeah. And I know it's supposed to be tiny, but I think that's too small for them to actually put, particularly without doing some sort of damage to it. I think that's too small. So here, I think, is where they could probably do the hut.
But if we have this as the background, like that would be an awesome background.
It would, but I think, isn't it supposed to be a bit offshore? Like it's supposed to be a bit of a boat ride to get to it.
It's supposed to be a little bit offshore, but I always imagined that it was in like a more deserted area.
Me too. But I think what they could do is they could film kind of this way, like almost from the shoreline, and make it seem like this is an island. And you either just don't see the water on this side, or they have different angles where you see the water and you don't see the stuff in the background. I think they could do it that way. But this is big enough to accommodate a hut on the rock.
That's true.
Going back to the boats just real quick. We do see some of the boats on the shoreline that are like nice and small. And I think those smaller boats are going to be the ones that they ultimately end up using as like the one that Hagrid and Harry come back on, as well as the one that obviously Harry went out on with the Dursleys. They mostly have motors on them. I'm hoping that they take the motors off and they have to like row, because that was kind of like part of the joke. Mm-hmm. I know that J.K. Rowling did eventually offer an explanation for how the Dursleys got back. I hope that actually, like, if they're going to add to the series, I hope that's added in.
Me too.
But how they do it, like, you could be pretty funny with that. Like, we're trapped on the island for an extra day. And he's like all upset about that. And
you absolutely could. I'm wondering, they could also release like a special mini episode where it's just them like being trapped, realizing the boat's gone, the boat coming back. Like, it doesn't actually have to be included in a regular episode.
I don't think they'll do that, but that would be kind of funny. That location looks like beautiful.
Oh my God, it's gorgeous.
It's not that secluded. If you look at like the big pictures of the island, there is a lot of like different little houses there. So they're going to have to work to make it feel more secluded, but it's a beautiful location. I mean, you can say that for most of the UK, I guess. So green.
I'm really excited to meet the old guy that is thrilled to give him the keys and watch him go out and struggle. I think he's going to be fantastic.
I hope he's a local fisherman and he's just like this crabby old, like, yeah.
Here you go.
The other place that we've heard about that we did get filming times on, but just don't know necessarily what's going to be filmed here, is
in Skipton.
Skipton, North Yorkshire.
Is Yorkshire or Yorkshire?
North Yorkshire. On October 21st to October 22nd, they will be filming in Skipton, North Yorkshire.
We could make it.
Just get a quick intercontinental flight. It's an interesting castle. I don't know what the function of this would be, because...
What the purpose of it would be?
What the purpose, yes. Because my understanding is they are going to be reusing... This has not been confirmed. But there was... rumor early on from some credible sources within the HBO sphere that they were probably going to reuse the bigature of the Hogwarts castle miniature, but it's huge, so it's a bigature. The 1/36 scale castle that they had built for the movies.
Yes.
Which I know some people had some qualms with, because number one, the castle actually changed throughout the series, which kind of is in keeping with the canon about the castle. It kind of does have a life of its own.
They like to change.
But you did end up with this final castle that they used for all the exterior shots that was just so beautifully done. And
it's in Orlando.
No, it's not.
They've built a version in Orlando.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant the bigature is in Orlando. I'm like, no, it's at Leavesden still.
No.
It has an entire room of its own because it's massive. It would be good, I think, for them to try to use that, because so much craftsmanship went into it, and it's beautiful. I mean, I took photos on like a really high like a 45 megapixel camera, using as zoomed in of a lens as I could, and like you can zoom into individual bricks and it looks so freaking lifelike and real.
It's honestly really cool.
It's incredible. I'll try to share some photos here that I had taken while I was there, but it's gorgeous. The only problem might be the grounds.
Of the bigature?
Yeah, because some of the grounds are basically built into it. And so if they do that differently, they'll have to kind of exclude that to match with whatever they're going to do for the grounds if they do that differently.
So for the grounds, some people have speculated that
the location that we're talking about
in
here
Yorkshire
is going to maybe be where they do flying lessons, which wouldn't be unusual, because they did go to a totally separate castle where they just used this like one corner of the castle because of the grounds there for flying lessons with Madame Hooch. Even if that was the case, I think this one would be easier to make look like it's a part of the castle, but it would require some CGI modification.
Yeah, but just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, so you've got these 2 towers, one of which has a flag on it. They definitely need to get rid of that if it's part of the castle. And what they could do is they could extend those towers up.
Yeah.
Digitally.
Or even the, isn't there like, I at least know that it's in Hogwarts Legacy, but there's like a structure around the...
You're talking about like the wall, the exterior wall, kind of like around some of the internal grounds, courtyards and stuff?
Exactly. And it's not too much taller than this.
It's not. And obviously they wouldn't have to make the shape identical to that either.
Right.
I suppose they could do something like that. Maybe the Quidditch pitch is kind of like off to the side.
Right. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So if this was like an external wall and then maybe the castle is kind of edited in behind it. Mm-hmm. The weird thing about the one from the movies was like, we got that. And then there was a cutaway to Minerva looking out a window of a tower that wasn't actually in the shot. So it was like just, it was all cutaways. It'd be nice to see some more cohesion.
Neville was hanging off of the castle for no reason whatsoever. So it would be nice to see more cohesion.
Yeah. But I think even if they wanted to make this part of the castle structure, it could be easily enhanced by like extending towers that we see here up to match the aesthetic or the structure of the main castle.
And I feel like they've got like a similar coloring and they have those rounded buildings, which I think is the hardest thing.
The rounded towers and stuff?
Yeah, the rounded towers.
It's a cool looking grounds, cool looking castle.
Gorgeous.
They'll definitely have to do something to make it seem like it's more cohesive with the main castle structure, if that's in fact what this is. But we don't know. We just know that they're going to be filming here, and people speculate based on the appearance it's probably flying lessons.
And we know when they'll be filming there.
Yes, October 21st and 22nd.
Which I think it's important to disclose to anyone who's listening. If you ever wanted to pay me, stalk these people.
If you wanted us to be your actual in-person sleuths to get you some photos and videos of them filming on set, we would do that.
We'd do that.
For really just the cost of flying us out there and putting us up for a night.
Right. So I just think that's important to know because I'm desperate to be a part of this.
I think that's it for the main set locations that we've had released. So we've had like the Hut on the Rock location.
Yep. Hut on the Rock, maybe flying lessons.
Yep.
Hogsmeade train station, which is a part of the village, kind of.
Yes, I will be excited to see Hogsmeade Village and tentatively
Godric's Hollow.
Godric's Hollow. So pretty excited that we're seeing all this underway. We have actual filming locations, really solidifying like kind of how the series is progressing.
We're definitely making progress. I'm becoming more and more desperate to somehow be involved with the series. And I'm really willing to do almost anything.
You know what? Actually, thinking of Godric's Hollow and the fact that we talked about James and Lily being cast, I wonder if they're going to be filming some of the scenes then. There's like the whole... This is way later in the series. But the whole letter...
I have no idea where you just jumped to.
No, they find the letter from Lily to Sirius in the Black residence after Sirius dies.
Right.
And she's talking about...
the broom that Harry flies around on that Sirius got him.
Sorry you missed his birthday. James is getting stir crazy, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
They could be filming like those scenes, which they wouldn't be ghosts. So you need them while they're young, kind of going back to our whole like filming them while they're young.
Right.
Yeah, some of that could be getting filmed now too. And some of the time that they're in hiding.
I'm going to try and make a point now.
Okay.
Because remember you told me to say something? I'm trying to build up to that, but we keep getting off topic.
What did I ask you to say?
I am trying to make the point that I'm really desperate to be involved in the series. I would do almost anything, such as picking up Thestral shit.
Yeah. I did tell her to make that point. We had talked about this a little bit earlier.
And I have gone for it at least twice now.
That was totally...
I know. God, I know it. We're
gonna be a bit more on the nose with me.
Yeah, I was trying to be incredibly on the nose.
Speaking of on the nose, do you think the aroma of Thestral feces...
So here's the question. The question is, if I volunteered to pick up Thestral shit on site during the Harry Potter filming the series, would that be acceptable? Because I would absolutely walk around and be like, just picking up nothing. But then people would be like, what are you doing?
Nothing?
And I'm like, I'm picking up after the Thestrals. And then the question goes, so if you can't see Thestrals, what happens when they go to the bathroom? And then, is that also invisible? But what happens if someone steps in it? Is it still invisible if it's on your shoe?
And then I had thought, you ever like smell something, like you're in a room maybe with some people, and this and this hateful aroma just comes out of nowhere, and you're like, did they just did they just do that in this confined space? And can I say something? Or are they going to blame me?
Right, because
Who's going to blame me?
he who hath smelt it, we all know dealt it.
Yes.
So
Doth dealt it.
So the question becomes, do you smell
Thestral excrement.
the excrement?
Does it make a squelching sound? Step in it.
We got too far down this road.
These are important questions, though.
Yes, I have
that we
these
need answers to.
questions. Like, if a thestral falls in the forest, does it make a sound?
Or if a thestral dumps in the forest, does it make stink? Yeah. We could ask Luna, maybe. She'll
Exactly.
know. Although she could see them. I don't know. She's been able to see them since a young age, so maybe we can ask Luna.
No, we definitely can't ask Luna. We could
Yeah.
maybe ask Harry, because he went from and then...
I mean...
Or I could
weird.
kill Eric, and we can just test the theory.
I'd love to see you try. Weird continuation of this wretched tangent. If you've ever seen a horse and buggy, say for a wedding or things like that, don't tell me you've not seen that horse just go where they stand.
And it's
And
huge.
It's buckets of just... boop, 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 boop. I told you this is a wretched tangent.
It's terrible.
So I have to imagine if all the Hogwarts students are getting into these carriages that are being pulled by nothing, the Thestrals are also like right there. Did nobody smell that?
And the Thestrals eat. Like, we see them eat straight up raw meat from Luna.
For sure. That's making its way through your intestines quick.
Holy crap.
Unholy crap, really. I would imagine you'd smell something, which maybe that's the answer. They don't smell anything because they haven't seen death.
Maybe once you see death, you smell death.
Yeah. This is possible. This is such a weird tangent we just took.
It definitely is, but
But
also...
important question that needs answering.
Absolutely. So someone,
Comment
get back
below.
to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, comment below and give us your thoughts on this horrible, horrible question.
Also, if you're legitimately somebody working, this is back to the Muggle world.
Of
If
course.
you're somebody working on this TV series set,
Yes.
right? You're there, you're like, all right, Bob, I'll go get you the next 20mm lens and we'll put that on and what the hell are you doing? And there's just this, woman there with like a pooper scooper just kind of, oh, me? I was just picking up after the Thestrals. What?
What?
The Thestrals. I'm the one who goes around and picks up after the Thestrals. What are you on about? What Thestrals?
The Thestrals!
Oh my god, you've not seen anyone die yet.
Oh, bless your heart.
I don't want to take your innocence, but if you've seen someone die, like I have, you can see them. They're like these black, leathery horses. Skeleton looking like horses with beaks. Really quite, I'm glad you can't see them, mate. I'm terrifying, really. They're quite peaceable, but
They're very kind.
very kind, very calm demeanour.
Gentle.
But a bit scary to look at, really. I mean, I'm terrified
Bit
right now.
offensive to the eyes.
But I mean, someone's got to pick up after their shites, right? I don't want you stepping in it. You might not know that you've stepped in it,
But I'll know.
But I'll know, and I'll feel bad. What do
So-
you do when you're that guy who comes across this clearly insane person?
That was absolutely a 5-minute rant to get to the point. When you come across a crazy person,
Pretending to pick up thestral poop on set. What do you do? Are
you
just
let them be.
Well, are you just like, maybe they're really supposed to be here? Like, is that so outlandish that it's believable?
It's probably pretty outlandish. But here's my thing. Are they a happy idiot?
Oh, for sure.
Because if they're a happy idiot, you let them be.
I mean, if your way on set is saying that I'm picking up thestral poop, you're a happy idiot.
Exactly.
Just innately.
I would like to be the happy idiot, okay?
You are.
Okay.
You've been crowned.
God, stop, Eric. So sweet.
So we're going to move on from this just obscene tangent that we've spent way too much time on. I'm not cutting any of it either. Not even this part. Just a little bit more news outside of the TV franchise, and then we'll get back into that in just a sec.
Naturally.
Confirmable
Never
news.
a straight line here.
No. Confirmable news. The Audible series, for those of you who are interested in audiobooks and the Audible series, has come out with the final, I think, cast list is out there. We've got like Mad-Eye Moody, who's going to be played by James McAvoy. Mm-hmm. That's an interesting casting.
Really?
I don't think he'll do a bad job.
No.
It's just like, it's an interesting casting. He's got like
Love McAvoy.
he's got I don't know. He can have different accents. Like he's very good at different accents, including American. But it's just the
You're looking for that low gravelly.
low gravelly. I mean, he's saying things. He's really saying things kind of like voice. I'm sure he'll be able to do it. I'll just be interested to see how it comes off.
Yeah.
And he's also like, when you see him on film, he does to a degree rely on physicality.
Yes.
And without that, it's like, how's that going to translate? Although his voice is pretty awesome too. So I think he'll be able to do it. Pretty much all the casting has been announced at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And we have cover art.
And it's
It's pretty good. I actually like them. They're not specifically based off the original book art specifically.
Nope.
It's not based off the film
At
actors at all. It's not based off of the TV show actors. Or
some
at
might
least,
call it original.
this is Minerva here. You know what I like about this depiction of her? In the book, she's described as having this tight, pulled back black hair in a bun. And she's depicted super accurately.
Absolutely.
I love it. I also like that Harry's scar is a clear lightning bolt scar. You know, it's a little bit cartoony. It's
On the nose.
on the nose, but it's not on the nose.
Literally.
But it's also not too lateral. We had brought up quite a while ago that the scar on Dominic McLaughlin is kind of quite a bit more lateral on the forehead.
What we've seen.
From what we've seen. Whereas the story kind of outlines it as being quite a bit more medial, like more towards the center of his forehead. Maybe not quite center, but it's off to one side, but still. They give it that nice like alignment with his part, so it makes sense that if he's wiping the sweat off his brow, it would reveal it. We have had some people who are like, I'm not a big fan of audiobooks. I'd rather just have the book in hand.
I'm personally a huge fan of the audiobooks. I very much like the cover art, but I don't think it's like the biggest thing in the entire world.
Well, because everything else is going to be auditory, it's nice to see that they took the time to make really, really good cover art. I'm kind of in both camps of like, I love having the book in hand, which we'll get back to in a second. But I do like audiobooks. I've not to this point like the full immersive editions of audiobooks. I've heard a couple before. My wife has tried to show me them. She's not a fan at all. I do like audiobooks because I think it allows you to, if you're a little bit ADD, you can certainly be immersed in multiple things while enjoying one of your favorite things.
Right.
So like when I'm working, I will oftentimes be listening to a book and fully absorbing it while still like charting on patients.
Not all of us can do that.
ADD superpower. For the more immersive books, I don't know if it's going to be too much, like it's going to be too engaging. So that'll be interesting to see. I think this is probably one of the few series that I will enjoy that, and I hope I will. I think the only thing that I might find distracting is music. If there's music in the background, like really music in the background, I might find that distracting.
As long as it's kept at a reasonable volume, I'm okay with it.
It's going to be pretty subtle.
I'm so excited for this, mostly based on the cast. And a twinge because it's one of my favorite stories ever. We have McAvoy, we have Ramsay Bolton. Like
we do. Yeah. I mean, we've got Hugh Laurie, we've got Simon Pegg playing Arthur Weasley. I mean, we've even got for young Hermione, the same young lady who's going to be playing young Hermione and all of Hermione for the series. Arabella Stanton. So I'm pretty excited for the series. But for those of you who really just can't get behind audiobooks, fear not, because there's another physical book coming out. A little bit of a touchy subject for some. Many people know that Mimo Lima is not going to be completing the interactive illustrated editions of the books, but that's not to say that they won't be completed. So Scholastic had contracted Mimo Lima on a per book basis, and they didn't even contract them for the first three.
But we got through the first three.
Yeah, we got through the first three, and they were contracted on a book by book basis. We do not know why that wasn't continued. And it's neither here nor there because it was not continued and it's not going to be continued.
Exactly.
But for those of you who are like, I at least want the rest of the books done, we'll get that. It does look promising, and so promising that a lot of people have actually given the illustrator a hard time for basically what they call ripping off the design and the kind of aesthetic of Mimo Lima. But it's like, what are you going to do? You're not going to make it look totally different and then it doesn't feel like you're completing the set. It already like kind of sucks that you're not completing the set with Mimo Lima. But if you're going to try to complete it in some way, it should at least look cohesive.
I want to be able to look at all of them and be like, those are supposed to go together. It's the kind of a thing where people are giving him a hard time. Please stop.
We want him to continue. You can be mad that Scholastic isn't continuing, but don't be...
You can be mad that Mimalima isn't continuing.
No, Scholastic is the ones not continuing with Mimalima. Well, we assume that. It might be Mimalima's not continuing.
Right. You can be upset. Just period.
Just direct that ire in the right direction. The other thing that I think people have been a little bit upset about is there seemed to be a theme with the coloring of the books, where we got like a red...
We got a red, a green, and a blue.
And we thought we'd get like a...
Yellow.
Or at least like a gold or something. Something to get to our fourth house. Because they seemed to be house themed. We're not going to get that. This one's purple.
We have 3 other books in the series.
So they could do it. I think the fourth one would have made the most sense to do gold.
Well, yeah,
because
obviously.
Cedric Diggory dies in this one. He's kind of important.
Pretty big Hufflepuff deal. But at the same time...
At least we're getting it.
Yeah, at least we're getting it. Gratitude, guys. Gratitude. Just a little bit.
So we'll get another illustrated edition. We've already talked about that earlier this summer. I'm excited for it. I'm definitely getting it. If there's some cool stuff to share when we get it, we'll go through that here. Back to the TV series. We wanted to delve into the realm of speculation and rumor.
Fiction.
As far as we know, because nothing's been confirmed.
Exactly.
So last week's episode, we talked about the rumors surrounding Lady Voldemort.
Milady.
Tammy Riddle, if you will.
I hate that. I'm so sorry.
And we started to bring up some of the problems innate with making Voldemort not a male.
So originally, when we were considering this, the rumors felt quite rumorous. However, there's more and more people talking about it. So we've put some thought into this ourselves, and we have determined that there are 3 hypothetical paths forward.
In terms of this whole casting debacle.
In terms of the character of Voldemort, there are 3 hypothetical paths forward. The first
is that they're just going to cast a male, and they may have auditioned males and females, but it doesn't mean they cast a female. And if they cast a male, we move forward
with a male character being played by a male actor.
We move forward with the regularly scheduled program.
Exactly.
The other 2 options.
The first, the character of Voldemort remains male. However, the version of Voldemort that we get in the 4th book is played by a female, but the character itself...
And when you say the version we get in the 4th book, the fully manifested reincarnation of...
Exactly.
Voldemort.
Post-Cauldron Voldemort.
Voldemort?
Voldemort may be played by a female, but the character remains male. And then the final option is that Voldemort is cast as a female actress, and the character becomes female.
Like full-on gender swap.
Exactly. And so I think I would like to just take a minute to think about what this would mean to fully gender swap Voldemort. If we were to do this, let's think about the fact that Voldemort is part of a pretty important family.
The Gaunt family, yeah.
The Gaunt family. And there is a particular male lineage there, dating all the way back from Salazar Slytherin, and he is the heir of that.
And traditionally, and please correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not from the UK, but an heir could not be a female, traditionally. Now, we are talking about somebody like Voldemort, who is steeped in tradition and almost kind of ruled by the sort of rules surrounding tradition and lives his life based on some of those traditions. And it's a little bit different, obviously, in the magical world, but the heir is supposed to be a male. And there's other issues with that too, but like how they pass down the name, where he gets his name assigned from Tom Marvolo. Riddle Marvolo is from his mother's side. Riddle and Tom are from his father's side. We already talked about the anagram last time. There's a lot there. Beyond even just like the inheritance of the Slytherin, Parseltongue, and like that whole lineage, there's other issues.
He's also got daddy issues.
He does, but not daddy issues in like a, oh, she got daddy issues kind of way.
Yeah, we're talking about male on male daddy issues.
Not how I would have phrased it. We're talking about a son who was rejected by his father.
Aggressively.
Issues, yeah. And losing his mother issues. And I truly do believe that if a son loses his mother, it's different than when a woman loses her mother. Just like that connection.
A daughter?
Yeah, that would be the proper way to phrase it. I just think like how that's internalized is different because we're different. He, being the kind of crappy person he seemingly always was, internalized that and like she was weak, he was a coward, I come from stronger stock, Slytherin. He's just like this very like patriarchal kind of
Yes.
crappy, yeah, like he's the worst of the male qualities,
Yes.
basically, in my opinion.
So, in short, if we're looking at option 3, in which we do a full-fledged gender swap, we lose the whole heir of Slytherin, entirety of his story.
Yeah.
We lose the...
So psychology about how he develops the way he develops.
Exactly. Like, being a male from this particular family played a huge role in developing the monster that is Lord Voldemort. So a full gender swap, I believe, has a number of problems, including the psychology, the name, the anagrams.
And then there's also the symbolic mirroring, as some people call him, the dark mirror of Harry. That totally, in my opinion, that totally breaks down. And I know we're going to have some people who are like, are you still going on about this? This is an overreach. Because we did have some commenters who, I think rightfully so, said, I think you're jumping the gun a little bit too much in how you're interpreting this.
Which is why I think it's important to tease everything out.
We're not saying that this is going to be a fully gender swapped Voldemort. But we're saying if it were, these are the problems. And these problems are what makes it less and less likely to be the case that that's what they're actually talking about doing. There was one more thing that we hadn't even considered, I think, when it comes to the gender swap. And this is not to be like stereotypical, but there's the whole historical like poison is a woman's weapon. Mm-hmm. In the way things happen with Merope and Tom Riddle Sr., you could almost view the love potion as the poison. Given how the males seem to behave in the Gaunt family and how like just weird and inbred they are. Anyways, I just don't think that a male in the Gaunt family would use a love potion to trap a woman. I think they would more likely just use the Imperious Curse to trap a woman. I think they would use like more direct.
There's also a huge difference between a woman trapping a man, just in like societal perception.
Yeah.
And a man trapping a woman.
Yeah.
Those don't go over the same way.
Don't feel good. Yeah.
So.
But if that's the case, and then he, for some reason, like lifts the Imperious Curse and she's free and goes, no, I don't love you. I'm running away, far away, where they can't find us.
Exactly.
Insert Vernon. I just think it just doesn't work. But again, in this case, making the comparison, like poison is a woman's weapon, a love potion is a woman's potion in this context.
There are a lot of characteristics of Lord Voldemort that suggest that the character is masculine, is male. We don't feel that they will likely go in that direction of a full-fledged gender swap. Going back to option 2,
where it's a female portraying the male character.
Exactly. And we have had plenty of roles throughout history in which the opposite gender portrayed the role. And while this may not be the way either of us would particularly move forward with the story, it's important to note that it is a possibility. They may have auditioned all genders for Lord Voldemort.
And a lot of people have been thinking of like maybe somebody who has like sort of a more androgynous appearance to them, like Zelda Swinton. Is that her name? She was in Doctor Strange as the Sorceress Supreme. She's usually bald. I mean, to me, like, yeah, she has like a somewhat not gender specific appearance to her. Probably hard to tell anybody that's a man.
Some people have been saying that it could be, someone who appears a little bit more androgynous. I think for me, focusing more on the reasons why the showrunners may be interested in pursuing a female actor for the male role. Some people have brought up the fact that there's some complex physicality associated with the character. Growing a new body at the age of 70 or 50 or whatever he is.
He's at least in his 60s because he dies, I think, at 76.
Right. Yeah. So coming out of a cauldron for the first time and growing and fighting duels with magical wands, all of that is pretty unique physicality. Yep. And so it's possible that they're looking for someone who has just more of that bodily control, someone who might have more of a,
very slender frame.
Right. A slender frame, potentially a dance background. Yeah. And on the slender frame, if we're doing like wire work, it might make things a little bit easier in a few different cases.
Yeah. And you could be thinking of like even somebody who does like contortionist work or those kind of things.
Right.
Which there are males definitely who do all that. but they tend to be of a little bit bigger, maybe even unintentionally so, build.
Right.
Even if they're like contortionists and stuff.
Exactly. And I think another point that people have brought up is potentially the almost like snake-like appearance and
personality.
Personality,
Like how he
overall vibe.
slithers his way into people's good graces and slithers his way out of trouble.
Right.
Right. I guess the terminology I had used when thinking about this. Yeah, I mean, there is certainly an argument to be made that perhaps a female actress could portray that certainly differently than a male actor would portray that, even if she's supposed to be portraying a male. I just think there's so many good choices out there that there's not a need for it.
Exactly. I think that there are a number of reasons that the showrunners could pursue this. I personally don't think that they need to, because I do believe that there are a number of male actors out there who could portray this.
If you're not trying to go with somebody who's like a
really well-known
actor or actress, because there was the whole thing about Cillian Murphy, and he's basically said, yeah, I'm not doing it because I'm not going to follow in the shoes of Ralph Fiennes, and good luck to anyone who does.
Right.
And the same thing was said for the one who played Daemon on House of Dragons. And he was
Matt Smith.
Yeah, it was Matt. Yeah. He's like, no, nobody's asked me, but like, good luck to whoever does, because Ralph Fiennes is iconic. And he would be I think, build-wise, facial characteristics-wise, like just how Daemon looks in
and how unsettling he is, just when he's got a full head of hair and like a nose, he could be even more unsettling.
But if you're not trying to get somebody who's super, super well-known like that, which presumably they're not, there's going to be so many people who are willing to try and step into this role.
And there are so many different people that they could work with to create the
persona of Voldemort.
Exactly. And the physicality. I personally think there is a male who could portray the role.
The other thing that came up was a great point from one of our viewers. Hopefully you're watching. We really have the benefit of an insight this time around.
Yes.
When the movies were coming out, all the books were not yet out. I think by the time the first movie released, we were only on the third or fourth book. And so we know how the story ends. The only person who even knew how the story ended was Alan Rickman, like ahead of time.
Silence.
The late great Alan Rickman.
We're nothing if not respectful here.
So the only person who really knew how his story arc ended was him and J.K. Rowling. She almost didn't tell him, and then she did because she felt he needed it to portray elements of the character leading up to that point.
I think he did.
But we know all that now. If you've read the books, or if you're interested in this podcast,
this one right here,
you know about this. Unfortunately, not everybody involved in the project knows about that. Knows about it. We'll get into that in a second. But because we do have the benefit of insight,
right,
there's no reason to use guesswork or use, like creative gap-filling storytelling because we don't know how things are going to pan out at the end. We know. We have the script. It's written with more detail than you need in order to show it on screen. Just use that. That'll work. So, and that's not just about the Voldemort aspect either. I mean, that's about everything. Every character has been pretty much fully described. And if they weren't, then whatever you might deviate from in terms of how the movies did it isn't going to matter. And yeah, have fun. Be creative. And there's so much in terms of like illustrations from J.K. Rowling that went along with the book. There's so much that is like truly canon. She did these during the time of writing the books. There's just so much already there that we know. We don't have to guess. We can use canon material, and that was what was sold to us with the series.
I think as far as the Lord or Lady Voldemort rumors go, there are 3 hypothetical options. We are both in particular support of option 1, where Voldemort remains a male character and is portrayed by a male actor. Mm-hmm. We acknowledge and are hypothetically prepared for further discussion of
option 2 in particular.
Option 2, in which the character still remains male, but is portrayed by a female actress. And then option 3, I'm really not for. But we are all for civil discourse here on the Wizarding World Legacy podcast. So I think that's really important because, these can sometimes be those very contentious topics, but...
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's because sometimes people come at these with a particular thought process or a particular agenda in mind. And yeah, I don't want this to be that. I want this to be what we were promised, which was a book-accurate retelling of the stories that has more time and more money to be fleshed out properly. Let's just do that.
I would like the showrunners to serve the story, not the politics.
Yeah. that is the last in terms of episodes that I want to talk about Lady Voldemort. Doesn't mean you can't comment about it. Please do. We'll happily engage with you guys about that.
Yeah,
I just don't want to do another episode. There is one more thing, one more bone I've got to pick. So this is kind of what I was getting at before. We have also heard that there are people involved with the writing of the show, in fact, one of the main writers, that haven't even read the books. And I do wonder, if you haven't read the books, how do you adapt the books?
I agree.
How do you, like, you're the screenwriter. How do you do that without the source material? I don't know, like, I don't want them referencing the movies to do that. That's like the whole purpose of this is not to do that. But I also have problems going back to the movies because we had major characters and a lot of people were like, well, they've got the scripts to work off of and that's enough, isn't it? We have moments in the movies that didn't pay off correctly because of actors not reading the books for the original movies. It wasn't just like secondary characters like a Snatcher or a Goblin. Freaking Dumbledore, Michael Gambon, did not read the books.
At all.
And I would like to draw your attention to a particularly comedic moment, something that gets memed on all the time.
Absolutely.
Harry, did you put your name in the goblet of fire?
He said calmly, Harry Potter! And Dumbledore's calm demeanor in the face of overwhelming
Calamity.
strife and calamity is one of the things that made him such an admirable character. Somebody to look up to. That's the reason why some panic-stricken buffoon like Fudge would write him every day asking for advice.
Yeah.
As many people involved in this project can read the books, should read the books. Like if you're old enough to read the books, which pretty much everybody should be, maybe like the kids don't necessarily need to read all 7 books by season 1. I feel like you should read the books because even J.K. Rowling herself has said the books really are written at the age group of the characters that are the main characters, like the kids. And the experience
for 11-year-olds to read.
Yeah, so like it makes sense to read the first book at 11 years old and to continue to read them with the age of the characters because the themes are in line with what you experience in those points of your life.
Yes.
Like the different like emotional quirks that you go through when you're going through puberty and like you're looking at girls differently as a boy or boys differently as a girl.
Right.
You go to the first dance at your school. My daughter's going to her first dance.
Please
and
don't
that's
remind me.
Yeah. But you go through the emotional changes and woes that these characters experience at the same time if you do that. I think the kids could read them leading into the season that they're filming. And the big reason I think that's important is because of the misses that we've already seen in character portrayal. Because like you don't truly understand the intent behind some of these things when you don't have the whole context.
Definitely.
And even the conclusion, which obviously the characters in the books don't know, but the conclusion really does help understand the context of some of these characters. Namely, think of Snape.
Yes.
Right? Like
Alan Rickman needed to know.
Yeah, that's why she gave in and said, okay, I'm going to tell you this, but you can't tell anybody.
I think Dumbledore needed to know. Harry, I also think, needs to know because throughout his life, he gets all of these little hints about sort of what's coming next, but he doesn't fully understand them. So I think Dominic McLaughlin should probably have some semblance of an idea of what's happening.
And I think the benefits of him having even a fuller understanding than Harry does is you're asking a child to portray the emotional difficulties of a child within this magical world that he'll never truly get to experience other than on screen.
What do you mean?
Well, he didn't get his letter. If he's going to be on set all day, he didn't get his letter. He's going to have to portray this character on screen that Harry is a very emotionally complex character.
Absolutely.
And that's a lot to ask of any kid to portray that anyways. But to portray that without all the understanding of the emotional motivation behind it is tough.
I agree.
So I think that gives him more of that to work with. And put yourself in that headspace. Read the books. It's not that hard. They are borderline children's books that also work for us adults.
Also, there's audiobooks if you have a hard time reading.
Yeah. If you're like going to and from set and you're just trying to digest the story, audiobooks are fine.
Audiobooks are, well, also, there's going to be immersive. So, like, you have options. Familiarize yourself. Indeed. Especially the writers. Anyway, moving on.
So, closing thoughts. What do you think?
We'll start within the nonfiction realm. Very excited. I think the sets that we are seeing, the prop pieces that we are seeing are
locations.
Absolutely just stunning in general. Like I'd like to visit not related to Harry Potter. And I think they will make absolutely wonderful
on-screen locations.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm excited that even the original like film adaptation is still like, we're still seeing stuff come out from that. Like, it just shows how alive the Harry Potter community still is all these years later.
Yeah.
After all this time, Severus.
Always.
And the fact that we're still seeing this come out while leading into a reboot basically of the series, it's just so much stuff going on in the Harry Potter community that's so awesome.
Yeah.
I'm really stoked for it as well.
As far as the hypothetical fiction goes, I am skeptical. I am trying to keep an open mind, and I am excited to see what happens next.
Fans are seemingly hopeful, although, there's the occasional Redditor who goes, it's turning out to be more crappy and crappy every day.
I think that's just the world.
It's just the world. You're going to get some of that negative feedback. So we have to balance our concerns and enthusiasm with one another and just remain hopeful that this is going to be a good, book accurate, faithful adaptation within the limits of what's already been decided on, and that we'll all love it and be able to talk about it with our grandkids.
Exactly. I think it'll be a good one.
As always, make sure that you're subscribed. Ring that bell so you get notifications and never miss a magical moment.
And be sure to comment below and let us know what your thoughts are on the fiction or hypothetical version of, maybe.
And definitely on the confirmed locations. Are you somebody who is from the UK? Because we do have actually our second most popular viewership is actually from the UK. We're from the United States, obviously.
If you're from the UK, feel free to comment on every single word we pronounced incorrectly.
Yes.
We're very open to that kind of feedback here.
I would bloody welcome it.
Just a wee bit of feedback, if you don't mind.
Comment below on your thoughts on the different locations. Are you somebody who would visit those locations as well? Mm-hmm. Especially if you live anywhere near those. And if you do, snap a few pictures.
For sure. Keep us posted.
Are you excited about some of the stuff that's coming out not within the TV series specifically? And if so, share your thoughts on those things.
Yeah, and if you get the necklace, send us some pictures.
None of you wearing it, because I don't want you to, be cursed.
Right. Stay alive.
Because until next time, you'll need to keep your wands at the ready.
And stay magical.
Finite.
Finite.